being in the position that we're in, with First Take clearly being number one, and now you being a part of it and elevating us even more. The bottom line is that puts us in the eye of the storm, and there's a lot of people that throw a lot of shrapnel of criticisms, innuendo, and all of this other stuff. I guess what I'm asking you is, I mean, you know how I deal with it. Sometimes I ignore it. Sometimes I tell somebody to kiss my ass. Sometimes I call them the pathetic bastards that they are. We don't have to mention names. You know where I'm coming from.
Yes,
But in your case, you don't have to deal with that as much. Probably because you're about 250 pounds and you're the Black Hulk and you could break somebody in half. That's probably why you don't have to deal with this stuff the way that I do. But how do you deal with it, particularly now at this point in time in your career?
Yeah, my grandma used to always say, boy, don't chase a lie. See, when people say stuff, or I can do this and I can tell this, why would I run that down to try to disprove it?
Right.
You trying to get credibility. You trying to get credibility using my name.
Right.
You haven't heard me mention your name, nor would I.
Right.
For me, like, I don't like arguing publicly with people of my community. A lot of times I will DM them. If I have their information, call them and say, hey, bro, what's our deal? How do we get past this? How do we move past this? Because I don't want to put that out there like, then they like, see, yeah, we got them. They arguing amongst themselves. I'm not going to do that. And if I'm wrong, I've never been too big, too proud, too successful, too anything to say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Nor will I ever be too of anything to say I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm going to say I'm wrong.
Same here.
And if I've hurt, and say, I'm not going to say, well, that, I'm not one of those guys that says, well, that's not what I mean. You said I hurt you. You said I said something that wasn't true. Okay, bro, my bad. Ma'am, I'm sorry.
But we're living in an age, Shannon. We're living in an age, Shannon, where that's not good enough for these guys. Like, listen, I can't tell you how many times I've told brothers, look, have you not seen me on national television say, I apologize, I was wrong? I said, if I'm wrong publicly, I'll admit I'm wrong publicly. Right. If I'm right, I'm not budging. If you try to punk me, I might ignore it. And then every now and then I might clap back just to let you know I ain't scared now. You know, whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you just got to do that sometimes. But you're not really trying to. But we live in a day and age now, Shannon, covering sports especially. I've seen you on FS1 before you got the First Take. And you were like, I can't believe you. It's not personal. We're talking about your performance.
Yeah, I'm talking about a game.
Right.
And I think the thing is what I've gotten a lot of, Stephen A., is that when guys that I've criticized or critiqued or whatever the case may be, when they see me out, a lot of times they'll say, man, you tough, but you fair.
Right.
And that's all I can ask. I'm not, I see, I go to fights and I've been a couple of places and I see guys. If they want to acknowledge me, I'll acknowledge them back. If not, I'll keep it moving. It's okay. No harm, no foul. I'm not, hey, you got your life to live. You live your life. I understand. I think the thing for me, Stephen A., is because I was an professional athlete. I have a sister, had a mom, got kids. So I think in the back of my mind, I try to be a little bit more. I'm not probably as harsh as I would have been had I not been in that situation. But knowing that I have a sister that heard things and a mom, and it wasn't like it is now, obviously.
Right.
And kids, I try to be a little bit more respectful. But at the end of the day, we both got jobs. I mean, if you do your job and I do my job, everybody goes home happy.
That's right.
But if you don't do your job and I do my job and tell people that you didn't do your job, you can't be mad at me.
Yeah. They're going to be mad anyway, and that's the way it goes. Just a couple more questions before I let you get on out of here. I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying loud and clear, and I get that. I can't let you get out of here without asking you about your brother, Sterling Sharpe. Now, Sterling, now, someplace you let Sterling, wait, this brother was something special. I mean, I had him when he was playing as the second best receiver in the game behind Jerry Rice. We talk about Randy Moss. We talk about that other dude I ain't going to even mention no more because the hell with him. But he's there. You know who he is. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone, right? But Sterling Shepard was something special.
Sterling Sharpe.
Sterling Sharpe. I'm sorry, Sterling Shepard. Sterling Sharpe. I'm sorry, I apologize. What kind of effect has he had on you now compared to what he had on you during your playing days?
Well, Stephen A., I had the best role model anybody could ever have. The only person I ever wanted to be when I was growing up was Sterling Sharpe. I remember my sister would get my sister's 8 years older than I am. She's 5 years older than my brother. Mm-hmm. And she would always say, Shannon, stop trying to be like him. Be your own person. Be your own man. Stop it. Be your own man. But what she didn't know, the man that I wanted to be was him. Yeah. So everything that he said, I hung on it. Everything that he did, whatever number he wore in high school, I got it. Whatever number he wore in college, I got it. When I got to the NFL, I couldn't get 84 because Ricky Nattiel had it. When Ricky Nattiel was a free agent and he got let go, I ran upstairs to Coach Reeves' office. I said, Coach Reeves, can I change numbers to 84? Because I want to be like my brother. He's like, it would be an honor for you to wear that number and be on this team, 84. And so I got 84. So every car that he got, I got the exact same car. Everything. Stephen, and people laugh, and people thought I was lying. But if you ask my sister, if you ask my brother, my very first college girlfriend that I got in college was identical to his. I'm talking about from hairstyle, complexion, the way she was shaped, the way she walked, everything was just like his.
What was it about him? What was it about him specifically?
Man, because, my brother was like, I was more talented as I had more God-given ability than my brother. I could see him do something and I could go do it. He just worked harder earlier than I did. I wanted to be the class clown. My brother did his schoolwork, but I wanted to tell jokes, Stephen A. I wanted to be funny. I wanted to be funny, man.
Right.
So in the process of me being funny, man, my grades wasn't nothing to laugh at. They were bad. I mean, Stephen A., to be honest, man, with them grades I had coming out, I couldn't have got in prison with them.
Wow.
Man, they were so low, I needed a crane to pull them up.
Wow.
Yeah, they were bad, Stephen A. They were bad. And so I was going to go join the military. The recruiter was coming. I was going to the recruiter's office to take the test. I was going to the Air Force. My brother left Columbia, the University of South Carolina, and he came down. He says, because he's more like a father. My sister is more like a mother. My brother's more like a father because they kind of raised me. He said, you're going to go to Savannah State. He said, you're going to go to Savannah State for 1 year. And if you don't like it, you can say, I went to Savannah State, but it wasn't for me. But you're going for at least 1 year. He got in his car and he left. I went to Savannah State, and it's one of the 5 greatest decisions that I've ever made in my life because it changed my life. Because I was around people, the professors, the doctors, they cared about Shannon Sharpe. They had no idea. I think there might have been 2 professors. One of them told me, his name was Dr. Welch. He was my criminal law professor. He was an old FBI guy. He said, son, come to class. He said, you're smart. He says, I watched you play. He said, you're going to go to that other league, and then you're going to be a hell of a player. But my brother was so encouraging. I've never met someone that wanted more for someone else than he wanted for himself.
And for you.
And vice versa for me.
Yeah.
Stephen A., I would take everything that I've ever accomplished to be able to switch places with my brother so he could have a full NFL career. Take me out the hall. Take them Super Bowls. Take the money that I've made. Take the life that I would rather make 50 to 100,000 a year and let my brother have a full 14-year career. Man, Stephen A., you don't know, when my brother told me he wasn't going to be able to play football no more, people don't know how many nights I cried.
Wow.
People don't know how many times that I took the field with a broken heart, knowing that what I'm doing, my brother was supposed to be 2 times. And I'm still, and I'll say it again, I'm the only player of almost 400 men in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I'm the second best player in my family. Nobody else can say that. Nobody, no other NFL player can say they're in the Hall of Fame and they're the second best player in their family. I can say that unequivocally.
The one thing that you're not like when it comes to your brother didn't like talking to the media.
Nah.
You do. You don't mind. But your brother did not like talking to the media at all.
Nah. He's not much of a. It's funny. It's funny that he's funny because we're the flip side. Because like when we get together, he does more of the talking than I do. Mm. And when we're in family functions, he does more of the talking than I do.
Right.
I think he had a bad incident early in his career in Green Bay where people's like, I don't know why you drafted this guy. You probably should have you probably should have traded up to get Tim Brown, or you might have should have taken, because Tim Brown, Michael Irvin, Anthony Miller, I think Aaron Cox, maybe Flipper. There were like 5 or 6 receivers that went in the first round that year. And my brother had an okay year. And then the next year, he was first team All-Pro. He led the league in catches and I think touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And then 2 years later, when he went on that streak, he had back-to-back 100-catch seasons.
Right.
And so it kind of ticked him off that nobody wanted to talk to him and they thought he was a bust. And then the following year, when he's putting up these numbers, he's leading the league in receptions. Everybody says, okay, that was a great pick. He doesn't forget as easily as I do.
Right.
Somebody wrongs me, I'll just move on. Okay, fine. He hold grudges a little bit longer than I do.
Brother smart as hell. Loved him as a football analyst when he was working on the NFL Network and beyond. I only had the pleasure of meeting him. I think it was once or twice. He was always wonderful to me. I just like real people, and he's one of them. There's no fake in Sterling Sharpe. Zero.
Nah.
Zero.
But I've told him, and he's done a lot better of this, Stephen A. Holding on to grudges. And I used to do this also.
Right.
But my grandma used to always tell us, she said, boy, you can never be free without forgiveness. Right. And I didn't understand when I was younger and she said that. Right. She said, because you're holding on.
Right.
She says you're not physically incarcerated or but your emotions, that person going on with their life, they live in your life, and you got your emotions and your feelings held captive. Right. Let it go.
I'm gonna surprise you one of these days, man. I'm thinking about bringing both of the Sharps on first take. I mean, the debate against me. I mean, you might need some help. Shannon Sharpe. I'm gonna bring Sterling Sharpe to help his little brother. I mean, I'm bringing help. His brother his little brother needs some help, and I'm gonna bring him on. I'm gonna try to get him on there.